So I officially have 90 days until I have to leave, and the reality of that is feeling, well, it feels a little more real than I thought it would. Okay. That was unexpected. I officially have 90 days until I have to leave my house. I consciously made this decision. I have spent over a year getting to make this decision. I think I dragged my feet on it because it's been one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. As much as it feels really emotional right now, I also know in my heart that I had full clarity when I made this choice. But change and the transitions between seasons can still be really challenging, and sometimes the hardest decisions we make, the ones that we know are right for us, can sometimes be the most emotional and sometimes even really painful decisions to make. So as hard as it is right now, and as hard as it will be most likely until I am no longer here, I still feel that what is ahead of me is so much bigger. You know, I was thinking this morning before I got on here that I've been filming from this exact spot quite a bit here, but I'm kind of in this place where I wake up and I feel that that energy in me is just like on, because I have so many things I have to do. I feel like that pretty much throughout the day until I go to sleep, and I'm really trying to channel that energy and use it in a way that's productive. Sometimes I'm successful at that and sometimes I'm not, but I definitely feel that right now, like, this is my best with anything. The fact that I'm even able to kind of do certain things every single day. I have a choice. I have so much time and I get to choose how I'm using that time every day. And this is a priority for me. But unfortunately, at the moment in the season I'm in, I don't have time to really create beautiful videos with beautiful backdrops and adventures and things like I know I'm going to in the future. And I am really excited about that. But this is the reality of where I'm at right now, and a huge reason of what inspired me to create this channel in the first place. So I am here in this position quite a bit, but it's all for good reason. And as hard as these moments are right now, I really think I'm gonna look back on this and feel really proud of myself for the decisions that I'm making. Because for me, what I want is not just a house. There are other things I've wanted my whole life that have been so steady within me that I haven't fully experienced yet because I've taken the safer action, the safer choice. When I look back to the last few years of my life, I avoided certain things out of fear of hurting other people or out of fear of the unknown. And so I'm making choices now that I know align with what my heart has been calling me to. As this all unfolds, I think it's all gonna make sense for both of us. But before I get too far into this, I have to say that I allowed myself to play a little bit this week. I dressed up for Halloween for work and for handing out candy and had so much fun. I have been watching the show Wednesday. If you haven't watched it, it is such a good show. It just really pulls in some magic. So I dressed as Wednesday Addams and I had so much fun doing it. I'm gonna add a few clips here as I'm getting ready, and the full-on costume. I just think it's so fun for us as adults to lean into that playfulness. Maybe it's not dressing up for everybody, but for me, that is one of the ways that I just find so much joy in this. So here's a look at that. Good morning. It's so early here. I am getting dressed up for our Halloween party at work, and I'm dressing as Wednesday Addams. I thought it would be fun to show you. Stay tuned. Step 1. Not looking that promising yet, but I'm hopeful. Definitely didn't test out my white makeup first. So as you can see, I had so much fun. I'm definitely keeping this costume. It actually only required a few things I had to buy because Most of it I already owned. Definitely having that one on hand for the future. But I want to talk a little bit about some ways that I'm really focusing on getting through these next few months. And maybe something I say will inspire you, or maybe you have some input you can give me. Something I've noticed about myself that's really been coming up for me in the last year is like this hyper awareness to how I can be really jumpy with things, start something and not finish it. If you know human design, I'm a manifesting generator. And so that is what my makeup is. That's very normal. However, there's an element of it that isn't serving me in how I've done that and approached it. I've been known to have pretty good self-discipline, but it's weird. It's like turning 40 just opened this whole new pathway for me. And I'm really seeing the ways that jumpiness, what I'm calling it right now, although it serves me in some areas, it's not serving me everywhere. So one of the things I'm doing is committing to things for at least a year, and not everything I do, but really reflecting before I make that commitment to something. But once I do, giving it a full year to see it through. And I think it's also about figuring out a way that works for me to show up on the days when I don't feel like doing something, when I feel disconnected from something, when I'm not so inspired by something. And it's okay to not do something every single day, but making sure that those days don't add up. One of the things that I'm really focused on right now is putting more attention into investing again. I've done it in the past and I've been very successful at it, but I really want to learn now. What do I do? Is there anything aside from just investing and then holding my money? How to make my money work for me, and how to learn more about just daily investing. I want to mention that I am very spiritual and I am very much about living in alignment and mindset and how that affects everything. But I don't think that it's enough to just meditate every day and assume that everything is just going to come to me. In my money journey, specifically money, I've had to work really hard to find out what healthy and good habits are and how to make money work for me. And so by learning more about investing and by continuing to educate myself, I feel like that's an experience that's a part of just being human. That's the 3D. And merging that with the part of me that is also spiritual, that is more wise and expansive, and be more conscious of what I'm attracting to or away from me. And so I think it's very much about the merging. I think we see in the world a lot of people doing kind of one or the other, but I don't think it has to be all or nothing on one side. I'm really figuring out ways to invest in myself, not just monetarily, but in education and in that daily investment in something to actually see what it grows into when I give it time and nurturing, and recognizing that at the very beginning I'm just planting seeds, and that sometimes those seeds need a little time to actually start growing into more, and allowing myself to not know what that growth is going to look like, but that the thing that I'm committed to is just showing up to it every day. I took a course a few weeks ago. It was an all weekend virtual 3-day course on investing by an author I read in the past. His name is 𝐓𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐤. His daughter has a book as well, Danielle Town. By applying what I learned through them, I've done very well in my return rates. But I wanted to know, well, what do I do now? I'm going to be coming to this, kind of in this moment where I get to make a decision of investing more again. And some of my overwhelm has been knowing what to do. Do I do it in real estate investment? Do I invest in a different way? And what are both of those going to look like in the short and the long term? Also recognizing that perhaps there was a way that I thought I would do that over the last few years, but now that I'm in the moment where I really could do something bigger and really level up, that perhaps it looks different now. And I think I've kind of been grappling with that because I always thought it would only be through real estate. And now I'm having a moment where, although it will be real estate at some point, maybe it's not this moment. Maybe there's something that's going to be better for me right now in this season. Another thing that I'm going to do, I've kind of been dragging my feet on this, but there's another person who has a course on investing that I want to purchase for myself. This one though is definitely a bigger one. It's much more of a niche when it comes to investing, but it feels like a skill set that I can take with me for life. And as someone who has the financial background, I think it can only benefit me. It's also a 12-week course, and so that really puts me at these 90 days. It's just another way for me to hold myself accountable and that follow through. I do agree when people say that one of the biggest reasons why creators don't just give things away for free is because whether we're conscious of it or not, we don't put the same effort into something that we get for free. But if we pay for something, we have to actually get value from it then. And it's an exchange. As much as I get nervous, which is total scarcity, about buying a course like this for myself and investing in it, I also know that I'm leveling myself up, and I've done the research to know that this is a good course for me and this is someone I want to learn from, and I've already learned from in other ways. Scarcity has been like a major theme for me in these last few months as all of this comes up. I realize that it's an aspect of my subconscious wanting to keep me safe, but again, I'm leveling up in so many areas right now, and I get to take this opportunity to say that this is all energy exchange. By investing in myself this way, I gain more knowledge, I gain more education. Why though? Why is it so hard sometimes to do these things for ourselves? Even though I'm in this really, one of the hardest transitions I've ever been in, maybe the hardest. I also think back to where I was just a few years ago, and it all looked so different. The ways that I've gotten ahead everywhere in just maturity, financially, in my relationships with people around me, in my spiritual growth, my sobriety, all of it is, I've made so much progress. I'm in this moment where everything I'm doing feels like, oh my gosh. But I also know that all of this resistance and scarcity and all of these feelings I'm having are coming up because I get to actually purge them, and I get to say, I'm doing it even better now. I'm leveling myself up even more now by taking these different actions, by being really conscious of my money and how I'm learning about money and how I'm investing it and in myself. And sometimes that means spending it. I don't think we should be holding so tightly. In my experience, that's been scarcity. My biggest thing right now is that I want to live in alignment to what my soul is telling me. And that gets to be, like I was kind of saying, merging, not just living in a very surface level human existence, and not only being in this spiritual existence either. It's really for me about merging the two. And I'm here, I'm having this experience right now as a human in this physical body, and how can I really lean into the creative power within each of us? That's where when people talk about manifesting and abundance and all of that, that's an energy. That's an energy that we each have within us, but it's about what is blocking us from actually embodying that and living that. And for me, it's very much the scarcity. It's playing small. It's thinking I'm not worthy, things like that. And so right now, everything I'm doing is stepping out of all of that. It's stepping into a new reality, a different timeline. Even though some of it feels really hard as I transition in or out of it, I feel that that is a part of the experience, is feeling it, is grieving it, but also celebrating it and knowing that ultimately I'm trusting my inner guidance, because that is what's most important to me. And whenever I do that is when I'm living my best reality and my best life. And I haven't done that fully, but I'm doing it more and more and more to every part of my life. So I have this 90 days, and some of my videos might just be coming from this same spot for a little bit. I do not know where I'm going at the end of this 90 days. As of now, I have some ideas of what I'm kind of considering, some being more just temporary and other considerations being a little less temporary. I'm also, again, just coming back to that inner guidance and trusting and knowing that today what I need to do is be here with you. I need to buy that course, and I need to just do the things that are going to help me stay connected to my inner guidance and feeling connected to myself and not being in my head so much, because my head, connected to my ego, trying to keep me protected, is also keeping me small right now. It means so much to me that you're here and that you are on this journey with me. I'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear where you're at, any reflections you might have. But either way, just like sharing in this space and in this energy means so much to me. And I really look forward to looking back on moments like this in a year and a few years, because I know this moment feels like so much for me, but I really believe that it's going to open me up to life being better than it's ever been for me. And I'm just trusting that. But it seems like what I need to do first is strip away everything else so that I can rebuild. I'm so grateful you're here with me on my adventures, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye.